Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victoria's Hockey Company, and the Wild and Crazy Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. You are watching or listening to the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're up to Tommy. That's it. Hopefully today you're watching or listening from your car, your office, your living room, wherever you are. We hope that you had an enjoyable weekend of hockey. We are in our second week of December 2023. Today is Monday, December 11th. And we are going to talk about a subject that no one really wants to talk about. It's okay. It's important that we touch base on it again, not because of an issue within our game, but it seems like it's an issue across the sports spectrum. Hockey players know who not to hit. Maybe I'm going to be bragging a little bit today about our great game and the kind of young men that come up in this game, and that's okay. We deserve it. We deserve the pat on the back as a sport, as a group of parents, and as coaches. Outside of boxing and martial arts, ice hockey is arguably the most violent among major sports. No question. We fight, we hit, we are an aggressive game. It's part of the allure of the game. So why do so many more National Football League and National Basketball Association athletes face domestic violence charges than professional hockey players? Hockey has had a few incidents over the years, but they are few and far between. I think it comes down to the fact that hockey players get the benefit of positive role models at each level of the developmental ladder. Yes, there are a few bad apples within the coaching profession, but the game has a way of weeding most of those bad guys out. There is also not a lot of players at the professional level that grew up without a father in the house. Let's face it, domestic hockey is expensive, and it has serious economic strains on any single parent. The majority of players grew up with families with both mom and dad in the house. Those realities are a telltale sign of a stable home life. And more times than not, stable home lives means that we're pushing out good kids. Look, it's not easy getting up at 5 o'clock to go to practice. It takes a very dedicated parent to do that. It takes a dedicated teenager to get up to go to a 5 a.m. practice or to drive halfway across the country to a game. That's just what hockey players do. They spend a lot of time with their parents, especially in the early developmental process. And those years are important. There is a big difference between an accusation and a conviction. We hear a lot of accusations, but the conviction is an important part of the equation. We also know that high-profile athletes are subject to fraudulent allegations. When a kid or a young man signs a big contract, it's amazing what happens. It's amazing how someone from 4 years ago, while you were playing junior hockey, maybe you broke up with a girl, and all of a sudden she's coming back to get you because you signed your NHL contract. That kind of thing is going to happen. It definitely happens in football and basketball, baseball, soccer, on a worldwide spectrum. So we kind of get it. But I feel most of the players within our game will give each other the benefit of the doubt, especially if there's not a lot of evidence surrounding the allegation. But with that said, I also know that locker room itself can become a very violent place for the player that steps outside the lines and batters a woman or a lady. Doesn't matter who she is. If it's clear as day that happened, that player probably is not safe in his own locker room. Hockey players are generally They learn at an early age about acceptable behavior on and off the ice. Our athletes don't two-hand the referees or hit their mothers, sisters, girlfriends, or wives. Just don't do that. There are also the social realities of the brotherhood among players. Hitting a girl is not cool and would not be tolerated in most locker rooms, period. Players need to protect themselves by avoiding potentially dangerous situations. Here's what we know. The guys that find themselves in trouble in this area are the ones that are promiscuous about the way they're living their life, especially while they're billeting in a small town. It's funny how a promiscuous player finds himself in more awkward situations than another player in a committed relationship. Okay, got a girlfriend? Keep her. You meet a girl in a new town? Keep her for the whole season. The last thing you want to do is to have 2 or 3 or 4 girlfriends in one town, and you're a visitor in that town. You're probably not going to make it for the whole season. Boys, I said it before, and we'll say it again. The last thing any of you need is a scorned woman in your life. Girlfriends, ex-girlfriends cause problems for players all across the spectrum of hockey. Youth, junior, pro, college, we've all seen it over and over again. Many careers have been short-changed or ended because of a relationship that went sour. I'm going to say something kind of personal today. My biological father was an alcoholic and battered my mom when he was drunk. He died when I was 7, but left me with vivid memories of witnessing the abuse of my mom. I'm now 57 years old and still have issues erasing those memories. It's my mom. It's who I watched. I hit my father over the head with a baseball bat and knocked him out when I was 7. As a result of his behavior, I never drank to excess, and I'm very careful to avoid physical conflicts. With a lot of head injuries, a lot of guys with TBIs are violent. I have to be very careful because of those situations. Domestic violence is an issue that hits very close to home for many of us. Maybe that's the reason I've grown so close to the game, because I know that behavior is never tolerated. Hockey players know what and who to hit and exactly who not to hit. That's just another reason why most of us just love this game. We've always had a way of policing ourselves. This game, more than any other sport, probably is not really a sport at all. It's really a lifestyle. It's a commitment. It's a code of conduct on and off the ice. It's the way you behave, the way you act, the way you treat your teammates, the way you communicate with others. Some guys can't do it. Some guys are awkward in the locker room. Others abuse their seniority in the locker room. But in general, hockey players know how to behave and know how to act. And that's why so many will leave the game and find themselves in a career that is creating another team. Firefighters, hockey players are famous for being good firefighters, being good cops, being part of a team. That's it for today. Hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have an absolutely great Monday in hockey.